Are you managing the exceptions in your warehouse or the exceptions managing you? In this edition of DC 101, we'll talk about exceptions in your warehouse and distribution center with Chris Hamley of the Brecham Group. We'll dive into just what an exception is, what that can look like, how you are just chasing fixing the exceptions and not chasing making sure they don't repeat. And we'll give you some advice on how to avoid making those exceptions come back again. This is DC 101.
So an exception is any time we got a different output than we expected from a process. So for instance, I have a picking error. I got the wrong product in the box. That's an exception. So most people have really strong processes around kind of catching exceptions and like the order side of it. So how do I do a quality check before it goes out the door? How do I have problem resolution people or leads that are out fixing when pickers have exceptions or identify an exception like, hey, I didn't have product in this location. We're really good at fixing those things. Understanding why and how those things are happening is usually where the gap is. Yeah, it really starts with the data of it, right? Like I mentioned, a lot of people are good at, correcting the problem, but they're not doing anything to track what and why it happened. Understanding kind of why this SKU was in the wrong place, understanding why that person picked the wrong quantity. Those things become important to us because that's how you start to do some root cause analysis and ultimately fix the problem. Fixing the problem means getting back to what broke in the process ultimately that led to that. If we go back to our picking example for a second and say, okay, somebody picked the wrong SKU, right? Why did they pick the wrong SKU? Was it in the right location to begin with? Did they go to the right location? If they didn't, why weren't they at the right location? Starting to answer some of those questions start to inform us things like it could be something as simple as, boy, we have a stocking problem in the replen process and they just keep putting it to the wrong location, right? It could be that the labels are torn off and therefore I can't see the right location. So the employee is having to guess at which location it really is. A lot of those things are real life examples of just really simple things you can go fix that eliminate the exception versus us just continuing to fix the same problem over and over again. So internally, it's really about the cost of it, right? You think about the cost to fix an exception is 2 to 3 times what picking a normal process would be. So every time I have an exception, I had to note it. I had to then give it to somebody to deal with. They had to go take care of it. And then I still have to go complete the task again. And generally speaking, to be a really high functioning operation, I can't have a huge number of those exceptions. The other component of it is that inevitably, just by human nature, I'm going to miss some of those exceptions I get created, and some of them are going to end up at the customer no matter how good our quality program is. So it's really about how do we ensure high quality by making sure the processes are right as we go through the building.
For more information on how to get your operations to suck less, check out the Brecham Group.